Hey, this is Zoe and Ashley, and you're listening to an episode of Not My Therapist Couch.
Childhood dreams. What a concept.
What a lie. What a lie.
Mm, yeah, so what were some of the bright eyed, bushy tailed dreams you had as a child?
Um, Funnily enough, mine are not all that wild. Like, biggest was I wanted to be a wife and a mom. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a singer or some sort of like performer, and that eventually turned into acting when I realized I can't sing for shit. Um, those are like mine. Those are mine right now, I think. Yeah, those were the ones that I remember.
Yeah, I too shared when I was younger, like all I ever wanted to be is a wife and a mom. And then um, I think it was in third grade, we had to do like a little time capsule envelope with like a questionnaire. So in third grade, you're like, how old are you? Like
8, turning
eight?
9.
Yeah, 8 or 9. And we were supposed to open that in like 2020 or something like that, but I opened it way earlier and I cracked up laughing because I literally wanted to be a pop star like Britney Spears. And I can't sing worth shit. And the other thing was like I wanted to be a veterinarian, but I don't remember ever feeling that. So that's pretty funny. And also in there was like, what's your favorite color and all of that. But um, I did want to be a teacher. And then I realized that I can't teach for shit. And so, yeah, I,
It's not for the weak.
I I wouldn't do it today. That would not be a dream of mine. No.
I wouldn't do it today, and here we are.
Oh man, adulting, right?
See, but like that's the thing. Like they're such childhood lies. Like they're just lies. The childhood
They
dreams.
are.
Like I wanted to be a veterinarian. No, I didn't. Why did I
No, I
write that
didn't.
down?
I bet you if I know me at that age, I wanted to like be like someone else. And I'm sure some one
Mm.
of my friends said they wanted to be a veterinarian and I was like, "Me too." Cuz I didn't know who I was. I mean, who does at 8?
Well, you were 8.
That's what I was going to say. Who does at 8?
If you do, I'm concerned and
Yeah,
also jealous
right. I mean, I still don't know
because
who I am.
I know, like my late 20s, and I'm like, you must
Yep,
know better
early
than me then.
30s. Early 30s and I don't know who I am. So still, I mean, I know some about myself, but I still feel like I don't know who I am.
As you got older, what like where did the shift happen from wanting to be a pop star slash veterinarian? Maybe you just wanted to like sing to the animals.
Well, honestly, I just really loved Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears and the Spice Girls. And I just thought they were the coolest women ever. And that's like, I think that's why I wanted to be a pop star. Uh, when I was in chorus and I never got a lead part, I realized I couldn't sing. Um, and so that kind of like fell to the wayside. However, there was a time that my friend and I, with my boombox, we recorded a singing Usher. And we thought we sounded so good. And we had this huge dream of just sending it off and we were going to be big, big pop stars, the next big thing. It is, I wish I could play it for you. I don't even think I own it anymore, but
I would die
it
to hear
literally
that.
sounded like a pack of dying goats.
Not dying goats.
Literally. Oh boy. So the shift
Oh,
happened. I think once I realized that that wasn't reality for me. Um yeah.
So you're a social worker now
Yeah.
in different capacities. Like it kind of changes
Hmm.
appointment to appointment.
Absolutely.
Um, what made you want to go into that?
So I actually wanted to go into psychology. Um, and that was mainly because I think I wanted to help people and be who I needed. And I thought, okay, psychology, I'll talk to people. I didn't realize the difference between like a mental health counselor, a social worker. I didn't know all of that. I worked with kids my whole life up until the last like 5 years. And while working with the kids, I worked at a group home and they had LCSWs there. And I didn't really know what that stood for, but I knew they were the therapists out there. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And I remember talking to an LCSW and she asked me, Ashley, like, what are your goals? Like, where are you going to go? Because I wasn't in college at the time because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I really didn't. And I told her I wanted to go to school for psychology. And she asked me, well, why do you want to go for psychology? You know, you need a 4 year degree, or I mean, you need a 4 year degree, but then you also need a doctorate to really do what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, I don't know that I want to do that. And she talked to me about social work. She told me that if you get a degree in social work, it kind of encompasses a lot of different areas that you can work in. So you're not stuck at being a therapist, you're not stuck at being a case manager. You can work in macro social work where you're doing like grant writing and stuff. And then you can also work in like administrative capacities with it. And she just said that, you know, it would be more versatile. And um, my boss at the time was also an LCSW and she was the like director of the group home. And she talked to me about it and I was like, oh, okay. Because my goal still ultimately is to do therapy full time. And so, seeing what these therapists did, these social workers did with these kids, and how they helped them heal from childhood traumas and stuff, is what really was admirable and what I wanted to do. I loved working with those kids at that at the ranch. It was called the Florida Sheriff's Boys Ranch, and I love seeing them change and with structure and all of those things, and also having that therapy component. And I think because of my own traumas, that's why I wanted to be in this profession. So that's kind of how that happened.
It's kind of
And
cool.
yeah, so, but with you, you're a teacher. When did reality change for you? And then what transpired to get you to where you are?
I mean, I don't know what happened.
What had happened was,
What happened was I don't know what had happened. So, I mean, I said I wanted to be a teacher. Like when I was a kid, a lot of that was just because I loved school. I loved being in school. Um, and school was, I, wa- I, w- I want to say this humbly, but I don't know how else to say this. Like it was just easier for me. Like I learned quicker. Like I tested out of second grade and then we moved in the middle of second grade and then I got placed right back into second grade and then that was just like a whole mess and then I kind of like plateaued a little bit because I wasn't getting the extensions that I needed. Um, but because it was easier for me at a really young age, I always found myself helping other people
mm,
while like we were learning. And I really loved that because I like helping people. And so like kind of in the same boat as you, but different of
right.
I really enjoyed helping people and I got that satisfaction out of teaching, even at, 7 years old when I'm sitting there in second grade. So that kind of stuck with me, and I wanted to be a teacher all growing up. Like that never changed. And then I went to college. I went to Michigan State for a semester for elementary education, left after that semester just because of mental health, came home, went to community college, got my associate's degree in liberal studies that was a track for elementary education. And essentially, what the track did is it got you into any of the state schools. So, really, all I had to do was apply to a state school and I would get in pretty much. Um, and I did actually get almost a full ride to Cal State Long Beach with
Oh,
with it, and then life happened and became homeless for the first time, and so then I had to be like, psych, can't do that.
yeah.
Um, because
It's too
that's just
real.
what happens.
Too real. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what happens. And then so teaching kind of just fell out of the picture, and then I ended up getting my degree in business. And I don't really remember like all of why that happened. And I had gone back to teaching for a second, like when I went back to school. I went back to school for business, and then I went back to education for a semester, and then went back to business, which I mean, I really loved like all of my business classes, and I mean, enjoyed getting my business degree. Um, but after that, I didn't get any jobs with my business degree, and I'd moved out to where I'm now and decided I'll be a teacher. Like they need teachers, and so I just came right back to it and then got my master's in education. Um, which grateful that it gave me a job, but that was like the biggest waste of money, and that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about the Florida State University tuition, like, and how much I owe. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I owe
robbery.
no, it is, and I owe a boat, like a whole
Yeah.
boatload.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, my program didn't prepare me to be a teacher, so
Well,
that's where I'm at. But I mean, when like growing up, I always wanted to do some sort of performance acting, and I did acting like middle school through high school. Um, did theater in middle school, and I did some like acting classes outside of school, and then in high school, I was part of theater. However, I did not do any of the shows because they were all musicals and I can't sing.
oh,
And
that's
I really
funny.
hated that they were all musicals because I was like, I can't participate in this. And this is really frustrating. I like
Yeah.
remember being frustrated by it. And my, I was only involved in theater my freshman year because then we moved. But like of all the years of high school that I needed it, it was definitely freshman year because it would have been a good distraction, like with my
Yeah.
mother being sick.
Right.
Um, but I was always like kind of part of that world and really enjoyed it. And looking back at old like pictures that I have from my childhood, there's like pictures of me writing a script with my cousins, and then we like performed it for our family. Or like
That's
always
cool.
doing little things like that.
Yeah.
Always doing little writing things or doing skits, and like I just always did that. And I mean, I still love it to this day, and I just don't have time, but I want to get back into acting classes just for the fun of it. Like it's not going to go anywhere because I mean, it's just an ugly truth, but I don't meet the standards. Like
Oh boy.
that's a whole conversation, and I'm aware of it. Okay, it is a whole conversation, and I'm aware of that, and we can go into that another time. However, I am aware that like it would be really, really difficult to go into that. So anyway, I became a teacher, and 10 out of 10 do not recommend in the current atmosphere of education.
Yeah. I
but it's fine.
I don't know how you do it. I truly don't.
I
And
don't either. I'm gonna be
yeah,
real honest. I don't know how I do it either. But I get up every day and I go to work and try my best and pray that they learn something. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think like it's weird to say because childhood dreams like they're so fluffy
they
is a
are.
great way of explaining it. But then like I ended up fulfilling a part of mine because I am a teacher.
Yeah. But going back to what you were saying about like how school was easy. So basically you're saying like you're a genius low key. But
Okay. That's not what I was saying, but anyway.
no, no. I envy that because I struggled in school, like especially through primary and middle and high. I was just kind of like an average C student. Um, However, I found out why as an adult that I have ADHD. So there's that. But I did want to be a teacher and I know why I wanted to. And I don't know if this is like going to be encouraging to you or not, but I think it should because the reason I wanted to be a teacher is because I had particularly like two teachers that really made a difference in my life and really saw me and really worked with me. Um, and I know that you do that on a daily basis because we talk about it. And that part is really important for kids, especially if they're coming from a home that's not very loving, um, or where there's trauma happening. So, school, I liked school not because I was smart, because I wasn't um, like overly smart. I wasn't like overperforming or getting A's, straight A's, and stuff like that. But I was involved in band and in orchestra and in softball. And I had a creative writing class, and that was the teacher that really made a difference and really fostered my writing and my poetry and things like that. And she really poured in a lot. So even though teaching is a hard profession, I think it also is really powerful for some kids. And it might be the only time that they're seen or heard. And so for that, I mean, I commend you for what you do, but also I see why I wanted to be a teacher as well because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to help people. I think that's the overall theme for both of us is we want to help, you
Hmm.
know? It's
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
beautiful.
I've debated. I refuse to go back to school at this point. Like I
Yeah.
refuse.
Me too.
But I had previously debated um, getting my master's in psychology so that I could become a therapist for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Especially once I started like actually doing my own healing work and went to therapy for the first time and all of that and just seeing like how incredible it actually is.
Yeah.
I debated it and then I just was like I just don't have that in me. Like that's just a lot of extra schooling that I just don't have the patience for. Like my
Yeah.
master's program was 15 months. So it wasn't like this whole thing. It was 5 quarters.
Yeah.
Um but I mean, yeah, I do cherish a lot of the relationships that I've built with my students that I mean, you can just tell like it has made a difference at least in their attitude of coming to class. Like I
Yeah.
left early this week sick one day and one of the students who I've been like trying to kind of form a relationship with, like not that she's, a quote unquote problem student because we tend to focus our energy on building relationship with those to minimize behavior. Like it's just a fact,
It is.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
but it is just a
Mhm.
fact. Um, but she I've just noticed that something's been a little bit off. So I like will check in with her all the time and she saw me leaving because I left like as they were getting to class. And she was like, "Miss James, where are you going?" And I was like, "I'm going home. I don't feel well." And she's like, "What? No." I was excited to come to your class. And it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, that was really sweet. Like, I'm glad that she wanted to come to class. And today I was literally eating yogurt at my desk, and she just looks at me and she's like, Miss James, you're so funny. And I was like, what am I doing? But it's things like that, or like my other student that I told you about, where like he and I started really, really rough at the beginning of the year, like
Hmm.
extremely rough. And we we had our mid-year testing last week and this week to see just like they had their baseline in September, and now we're just kind of seeing like, kind of halfway through the year, what's the growth that's being made. And he did not do well on his math one. And they test in their advisory classes. He's not in my advisory. But for the reading one that we took yesterday, we put him in my advisory because he's asked me many times if he can just hang out in my classroom, if he can stay in my classroom. And during the math one, I happened to like be going to the bathroom. Like I had someone cover my class so I could go to the bathroom, and he happened to be getting or like going to the bathroom also, and then saw me and like ran down the hall to then try to walk to my class with me. And so then after that, I talked with our like testing coordinator and our assistant principal, and we had him test in my class. And towards the end of testing, like, I mean, they have a 3 hour block. So it's a long time to be sitting there testing, but they do it because they want them to just get it done.
Yeah.
And towards the end, like I could just tell he was just done, you know? Um, and I went over to him and I said, "Kay, the deal was that for you to be in my classroom, you have to be working. So if you're not going to be working, then you're going to leave." And he looks at me and he was just like, "But this is my classroom." And I was just like, "Oh, like I'm glad that
Aw.
you feel that way, especially when I don't want to say he hated me at the beginning of the year, but like we didn't have a great relationship necessarily. Um, but it warms my heart that he's like excited to come to class. And he even told me today, he was like, "Yeah, I need to focus more." I'm like, "Who are you?" Like, apparently, all those conversations he and I have about, his education and whatever are, I guess, paying off. And it's things like that that I'm like, that's why I wanted to be a teacher. Like, I wanted to make
Right.
that difference.
You just didn't
Um,
want to deal with all the crap that they give you.
yeah, no, like the behaviors are insane. But I mean, going back
I
to
mean,
childhood dreams, I didn't think that I
six,
was going to have to
seven.
deal with that.
Sorry.
I am calling your husband. No warnings. You've already had your warnings.
Oh man, I just had to. Going back to childhood dreams. My bad.
Going back to childhood dreams, I I think it's so funny to think about like we want to do this and that and all of the things, but we have no actual concept of what it takes to get there, what it's like to actually be in those shoes, especially when you're in school. You're like, I have no clue what it's like to be on the other side,
Right.
to be the teacher, even though I played these leadership roles where I was like helping people.
Right.
I mean, even through like high school, I this is again, I hate giving this example, but like it really is just an example of like I always wanted to help people, so I was helping students in my class that didn't understand, but it got to a point where like I honestly got shit for getting good grades.
Oh yeah. You
Like
like, and I think that was a big part of why I didn't apply myself because I wanted to be cool. I wanted to fit in, and so I didn't apply myself because you'd be a nerd, and I didn't want to be a nerd. I was already in band. You know what I mean?
and like
Oh,
I'm already one strike.
seriously, like, mm,
Well, and it wasn't even like about being a nerd or like whatever. It was like I was getting shit in specifically in my geometry class by two other girls. Not that they were like trying to bully me or anything, but like they just weren't getting it.
Yeah.
There were, I mean, I coasted geometry with like a 96 the entire year.
Yeah, see, math. That's another.
And
That's a big joke that I have, is that I became a social worker because you didn't have to know math. I mean, I did take um, ancient math in one of my college courses. It was like
what the
hieroglyphic
hell is
math.
that?
It was some sort of BS math so that I could get my credit. It was hieroglyphics. I shit you not. I learned how to add, subtract, multiply, divide, hieroglyphic math. Tell me how I'll ever use that, please. Yeah. It
What?
was just, I had to get a credit. I just needed a
I'm
credit.
I'm a math teacher and
I
I've
know, how
never heard of
funny.
that.
I know. It was like a liberal arts math, but it was,
Well,
yeah.
I almost said something I probably shouldn't. Anyway, um
I mean, say it. It's unhinged, right?
I know I was just gonna say, of course it was liberal math.
Oh man. Mm, I'm gonna hold my tongue now.
Anyway, that's my cue to leave.
I'll go home. Oh wait, I'm
Oh
already
wait.
there. Same brain.
Same brain. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's so funny to me how like I look back and I'm just like I wanted to be these things and they didn't pan out. Um, and we haven't even touched on like the whole mom and wife thing. Like you're a mom and wife, but that took a different route than what you thought it would. Um,
Yeah.
and here I am, husbandless and childless. So like haven't fulfilled that yet.
Yet, the key word is yet.
I did say yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm just reminding you. Keywords yet.
I'm aware. I'm aware. We talked about it when we were talking about listening to God's plan. Okay.
Yep.
So,
God's plan.
but I mean, it's just, it's also funny to think about childhood dreams of, there's also no concept of time
Yeah.
when you're like, I'm going to be this when I grow up. And it's like, well, when is grow up?
Right.
Because I know some adults that have yet to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so going back to like the time thing, my parents, well, my mom had me when she was 23, and I was like, I'm going to have a baby at 23. Lord, thank you for not giving me a baby at 23, because at 23, I was a hot mess. It goes to show like you really just don't realize it as a kid like how things can or can't pan out, and what time frame it's supposed to. Like I always had this timeline of like I'll be
Hmm.
married, I'll have a baby, I'll have a house. I mean, shoot, I just bought a house 4 years ago and I'm 34 years old. So I definitely thought I would have a house in my 20s. And
Yeah,
instead, in 1991, I was sleeping like a baby because I was, instead of buying a house at
I know.
$10,000.
I know. Where were we in 2008 when we should have bought a house?
2008, I was in 11th grade. So,
Yeah, I was in fifth
yeah. So there you go.
or fourth, something like that. I just know I was in around elementary school,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just
Well, and I mean, nothing perfect. I mean, I didn't get married until it was 5 years ago. So I was like my late 20s, and I thought I would already be married. I thought I would already have kids and all of that. And, you did mention like I didn't necessarily expect the way that we became parents to happen. I just thought, I mean, you learn when you're in school, like if you even engage in any kind of activity, you're going to have a baby. You're going to get pregnant. And
You're
I
like, if
remember,
you look at it.
yes, if you look at it wrong, if you sit on a toilet seat, I really thought like if you sat on a toilet seat that you could get pregnant. Like
Yeah, because people tell kids
well,
that to like
in the
scare the shit out of
90s,
them.
in the 90s and early 2000s, it was the big thing of abstinence. And so like
Hmm.
they would drill it in your head that you would get pregnant by just looking at it. And for us that wasn't the case. Even like once we got married, we tried and tried and like couldn't get pregnant, found out some devastating news about like my body and even my husband's body and things like that that just didn't align. And talk about like a devastating blow, and that's a huge dream as a kid. But I think, as I've mentioned in a previous episode, the Lord does provide in his timing and in his way. And so, but I would have never thought as a child, oh, we would be adopting a child. Like once I got married, that I just thought I would get pregnant right away. We'd have all these kids. And again, it goes back to when you're young, you don't know anything. You don't know like what life might throw at you.
Yeah. I mean, if it were according to my timeline and everything panned out the way that like my childhood dreams formed and created and carried, I would, as of today, be married, have already one child, and probably another child on the way.
Yeah.
And I am not even 30 yet, but like that was my dream is I'm going to get married by 25. I'm going to have my first kid by 27. I want my kids to be 2 years apart,
Yep. I had all those types of,
you know. Um
yeah.
and so it's things like that where I almost want to go back to being that naive.
Yeah.
Like that would just
Absolutely.
be so nice. Like that's the beauty of childhood dreams is that they're so naive and
Pure.
they are pure and there's just so much innocence around it of like you're
Yeah.
not even thinking about any of the logistics. It's just I want to do this.
Exactly.
And it, creates this little like spark in a child's eye and makes them just kind of happy to talk about it. And I mean, like I used to play school because I wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So like
I
I
played
played with
school and
my friend.
house.
Yeah, like I played school with a friend and like we would make worksheets for each other and then grade them as if we were the teacher. Like that's
Yeah.
how much I wanted to be a teacher. And but like also loved performing and I still do. I mean, if if I taught primary, I probably would be doing a whole lot more of it and I definitely did. Like when I subbed in kindergarten classes, I definitely had a little bit more of that like exuberant personality happening.
Yeah.
And I just don't have that with my seventh graders because
Well,
frankly
you're dealing
they
with middle school, man. Middle school's
well
hard.
they're also just like I don't even know how to describe it, but I mean, it might also just be like a generational thing, like right now, just like a current thing, but like I swear they don't give a shit about anything. And so if I were to stand up there and act the way I would for like kindergartners, I probably would cause even more disengagement.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe I should try it. Like, what do I have to lose?
Right. They might like it. You never know.
Yeah,
It
I'll be
sometimes it'll
bullied by a
spark
12-year
that.
old. That's not new.
I don't even know. I'm speechless to that one.
Anyway,
Oh boy. I lost my train of thought. Just went
I'm
choo
so
choo.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's
I
okay.
just had to.
Oh,
I mean,
I was gonna say, like, even though you're dealing with middle schoolers, I feel like what's been lost in this generation is the imagination, the childhood, being a child. I see 12-year-olds that look like grown women, and it makes me sad. And so maybe doing something like that in your classroom will spark that childhood thing for them that might they might
Maybe.
enjoy it, to be a kid, to not have to just, all the mundane stuff. Because let's just be honest, when you get older and you're an adult, it's for the birds. It's you are always having to just do all these tasks, and you don't get to be a kid. And I wish I would
Mhm.
have not grown up so fast. And I think, honestly, how I ended up working at the boys ranch is I went to a summer camp. It was the Florida Sheriff Youth Camp, and I went there when I was like 13, 14, and they acted like total kids, like singing and dancing and all these activities and being goofy. And I loved that because I didn't have that outlet anywhere else. It was like, you have to do good in school, you have to do this, you have to do that. And then at home, like, I couldn't play like I wanted to. And so that sparked a real joy in my heart when I saw these grown adults acting like children. I loved it. So, I mean, it would be worth a shot.
Yeah.
What do you have
I
to
mean,
lose, like you said?
that's why I loved being a nanny too, because like we just got to have fun and be silly, and like I
Yeah.
still am with them, and I've known them for, I want to say 3 or 4 years now, about 4 years. Um, so like when the family that I'm thinking of in specific that I've known for like almost 4 years, when I first started nannying their kids, they were 4.5, just turned 3, and 22 months, 20 months, something like that. Very close in age. And like, we danced all the time and we ran around all the time, and it was just like, I don't want to say I like was a big kid with them, but I just like got to enjoy the childishness
Yeah.
of a child. That's
Yeah.
not negative,
Right.
but I think also like both of us, I think you can relate to this, but like because of everything that happened in our childhood, we didn't really get to be children. And
Yep.
so that also, I think, feeds into wanting to help people, but
Yeah.
more so probably why we wanted to be like a mom
Yeah.
and all of that, because it's like, oh, I get to have my own kids and then I get to have fun with them and
Oh,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, whatever,
And I do. I act a fool to make my kid laugh. Like,
It's
I
the
enjoy
best.
that. Something about doing that just heals part of me too. Just being that fun parent, but, still having that structure, of course, but being able to like do fun things and act a fool and laugh and hear him laugh is just, it's amazing. It's the best feeling. I wish I could bottle up that feeling and sell it, because if everyone felt that, I think it would be a happier place. Because the
Oh,
joy and
100%.
innocence of a kid, of a little kid that is pure and all of that, I it a lot of people they're robbing themselves of that. I feel a lot of parents, and this is why you are dealing with kids that don't care, is they don't have parents that are engaged with them. They're missing out on that. Like, the parents are, the kids are. I always say that I'm trying to raise my child in a like 90s childhood where we play outside and get dirty and we make messes and it's not a big deal. And we act funny and goofy and make a fool of ourselves. And it just, I don't know. Play, he doesn't get a lot of screen time. Not that screen time's bad, but I really just feel like in this day and age, parents are so engrossed in their phones and in everything else but their children. And they're robbing their children and they're robbing themselves of some serious joy, because it's the
Hmm.
little things. My kid likes to play with the silliest things that aren't even toys, and I allow it because why not? Like, I want him to have an imagination, and I think a lot of kids have had to grow up too quick and not be able to enjoy the imagination and the dreams and hopes and stuff of the world. So
Yeah. And the lack of responsibility and logistics and all of that of having a childhood dream.
right,
Like so many kids don't have that because I mean there's so many factors that go into it and I'm aware of that.
yeah,
But I mean so many of them is like they're so engrossed in technology which has mm, unfortunately I've noticed that it makes them very engrossed in themselves.
very
And we've
much
talked
so.
about that like the what about meism.
Yeah,
And then they can't think for themselves and they have no attention span for
yeah.
anything. And I'm just like, do you have a dream? Like, do you know what you want to be? And so
You know
many of
what?
them like can't answer that. And I'm like,
Well, and
in
a lot of them
seventh
want to
grade,
just
I'd be able to.
right. A lot of them just want to be influencers. That's what I hear a lot. Like, I want to be an influencer. I want to be a YouTuber. And I'm like, I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but how how is that guaranteed? It's not. It's not.
Right.
And I don't know. I just feel like I it was a different time. I realized that. But I mean, kids when I was growing up, they had these ideas of wanting to be a teacher, a police officer, a fireman, all these things. I don't hear that anymore. It's like I want to be famous. I want to be an influencer and all of those things. And I know that goes back to the technology, but I feel like that's robbing them in some way. I mean, obviously. And yeah, they're all about themselves. A lot of them, the internet's making them very self-centered, but also the world of like instant gratification, being able to order something on Amazon and it be there that same day. That all contributes to that short attention span, that short patience, and that, you know, I'm going to get it. I want it. I'm going to get it. And it's going to be here today. Like that. It's just a different world.
Yeah, it is. But I wish that I could like take them back and have them like do some sort of, you know, what would my childhood dream be kind of thing. Which I mean, I guess I could still do it and be like, if there were no limits to, what you could be, and obviously it had to be a realistic thing of like, you're not gonna be a unicorn kind of, like it
Yeah.
has to be an
Yeah.
actual thing. But I like could do that and just be like, there's no limits. What do you want to be?
Yeah. That would be
Because
cool.
of all the students that I've asked, I've only had two students tell me what they want to be.
That's insane to me.
And only one of them was my students, one of them was an eighth grader. But I've asked them, how many of you want to go to college or are thinking about going to college after high school? And the majority of them raise their hands. And it's like,
Yeah.
you want to go to college, but you aren't even thinking about anything that interests you because the only thing that interests you is social media.
Right. Well, and then I feel like the reason they raise their hand is because there's an expectation that they're going to go to
Yes.
college. And there was an expectation for me, and there was an expectation for you. I mean, there's been an expectation of you're going to college. And I somewhat have a problem with that because not every kid is meant for college, but like the vocational stuff is kind of looked down upon. And I don't
Oh, I
like
talk
that.
about trade school all the time. I
Yeah.
offer that up too. I'm like, okay, if you don't want to go to college, how many of you have been thinking about going to like a trade school? To, and I'll give like examples of like, if you want to be a mechanic or,
Hmm.
like, or if you want to be a hairdresser, like those are trade schools.
Right.
Um, so like I offer that up too. I'm very cognizant of that because I am aware that college is not for everybody. Trade school is not for everybody. Like some people, I mean, there are jobs that you can get without schooling in
Yeah.
general that aren't, like your minimum wage jobs. But I think for the most part, like I want to encourage them to pursue something higher level, but whether that's 2 year, 4 year, or trade school, like I'm trying to do my best to make them aware that like they're all okay. But
Yeah.
I don't know, I just didn't think about that when I was a kid. Like I
Yeah.
didn't. It was,
No.
I want to be a teacher. I want to be a mom and a wife. I want to be an actor once it changed from singing when I realized that I can't carry a tune, which is really frustrating because I can match pitch perfectly.
So can I. But I can't
Like
sing.
it's so frustrating because I can hear a note and then sing it right back.
Yeah.
But if you ask me to carry a tune,
Right. I have what they call perfect pitch. That's what my band teacher told me anyway.
yeah.
But I can't sing a tune in a bucket. However, I do have, I guess, giftings in a musical way because I can play several instruments and
Mhm.
by ear. I don't really read music well, but I can hear something and play it, which didn't bode well for me when I was in concert band because you have to read it and do it the way that they want you to. But in marching band, because I picked up the flute in eighth grade so that I could do marching band in ninth, 10th, and 11th and 12th grade. And so I just learned that instrument and I got on the field and I heard the song a couple times and was able to play it. Um, so, you know, I wasn't far off of being a pop star, right? Because I could play instruments.
Yeah, you're halfway there.
Right, right.
You're actually ahead
No,
of many pop stars because many pop stars don't play an instrument.
right. And then I found out later in life that Britney Spears doesn't even sing in her concerts. So,
But
like, she turns off the mic, it's like recorded. I don't know.
interesting.
Maybe that's fake news. I don't really know.
Out here
But
spreading
I
rumors.
think at, I think that I wish that we could still have that mentality of a young child. And like real life's hard and working as an adult is hard. And even though you got to do your dream, it wasn't what you expected it to be.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not still my dream, but it's not still my dream at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's definitely like, oh, it got kind of hit with the adult reality of it, where I mean, granted, teaching even just 5 years ago was very different,
Yeah.
but that might not be the best example because that was like mid COVID.
Right.
But but if you take it back to, I mean, when I was in my senior year of high school, like I went and volunteered in a third grade classroom, and I mean, nothing, not a single thing compared to this. I mean, they didn't have one-on-one technology. They had three computers in the classroom, and then they had a computer lab in the library that they would use.
I missed the
Um,
computer lab. That was so fun.
it's so nostalgic to me. And one of my coworkers, he is in the old computer lab, like it got converted into an actual classroom.
Mhm.
And every time I walk into his room, I just am like, ah, the beauty of this room and what it used to be.
Yeah.
And now it's just a history classroom, but like I mean nothing wrong with it, but like I miss computer labs. Like they were my favorite. I loved
Me
when we got to
too.
go to the computer lab, especially when we got to
Yeah.
play like typing games.
Yes.
Um
Yes.
there's like I want to know what it's called, but there was one that was like a space typing game and
Yeah. I think I
loved that.
remember something like
And
that. Yeah.
yeah, it just oh, that's my adult dream is to have a childhood reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the reverse now. Like I wish I could go back and actually be able to enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, working as a licensed clinical social worker in the field, in the capacity I am now, is not what I dreamed of when I went to school. So even though that wasn't a childhood dream, it was a, early adulthood dream. And I think even that was skewed a bit, mostly because I don't think my college prepared us for, at least where I live, most of the therapists are contract therapists, and they don't have any oversight. And they didn't prepare us to have our own business. I wish I would have done like a business class or two, so that maybe I would feel more comfortable stepping out in that. But right now it's like I feel stuck in what I know, and I'm not fulfilling the real dream of being a therapist. Though I certainly can, it's tough because of where I live and what the requirements are and stuff like that. So, in a way,
And
I
what
don't
you're
feel,
giving up to
yeah,
branch out that way. Like just all the
exactly.
benefits and stuff that you lose.
Yeah, that's the problem is like I love the idea of flexible hours and booking clients on certain days and not others, and being able to be there more for my family. However, who can live in this world without health insurance and dental and vision? And you just can't. I mean, unless your spouse puts you on theirs, it even if they do that, then that cuts significantly into their pay. And so then
Hmm.
you're still sacrificing something that you need.
Yeah.
Adulting's hard.
No, I know. I mean, like, I'm just a single person, and of my paycheck, with all of the taxes, health insurance, uh 401k, like all of that, I take home about 70% of my paycheck
Yeah, same
every
here.
month. So like I I mean, I literally am losing essentially $2,000 every
Yeah.
single paycheck to go to taxes and like and for my retirement fund. So annoying, but I don't get to pick how much I put in. It's just
Mm,
it's just a percentage that the state sets. And because I'm a state employee as a teacher, I have absolutely no say in that.
that's
And
terrible.
so it's here, we're taking $500 out of your paycheck to put in your retirement. And like, while it's great because I know it's there, it also sucks because now with all the like medical stuff that I've been
Yeah.
having, like that's $500 I don't have to go pay all of these bills, even though I have health insurance. Like it's still, it only covers so much, especially when
Right.
you need $10,000 MRIs.
Yeah. So real.
But
Yeah.
I mean, man, would it be so nice to get out of the adult reality
Yeah.
and go back to childhood dreams? But unfortunately, they are a lie.
Hey, this is Ashley, and you just finished listening to an episode of Not My Therapist Couch. You can keep listening through Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Audible, and YouTube. Also, catch us on Instagram and TikTok. Hear you on the next one.